My roommate is convinced he's a vampire, and I don't know how to handle this anymore. I need advice, or maybe just a vent, or maybe confirmation that I am not the crazy one here. I, 25 female, moved in with Derek, 26 male, about 7 months ago. We were friends in college, lost touch for a few years, and then reconnected when we both ended up in the same city. When he mentioned needing a roommate, I jumped at the chance. I remembered him as funny, smart, a little nerdy but in a cool way. We'd been in the same film studies class and had similar taste in music and movies. However, the Derek I moved in with is not the Derek I remembered. First week was normal. We unpacked, decorated the common areas, established house rules, all good. But then I started noticing weird things. He'd covered all his bedroom windows with blackout curtains and aluminium foil, like layers of it. His room was pitch black, even at noon. When I asked him about it, he said he was too sensitive to sunlight and needed it to be dark to sleep. Okay, fine. I know people who work night shifts or have migraines, not that weird. But then he stopped going outside during the day entirely. He'd schedule all his errands and activities for after sunset. He'd work from home as a software developer so he can set his own hours. He'd apparently decided his hours were 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Then the diet changes started. I came home one day to find an entire fridge stocked with nothing but rare steaks and what looked like blood sausages. The freezer was full of blood, like bags of blood, that he'd apparently ordered from some specialty butcher that supplies restaurants. Derek, what the hell is all this? I asked. He looked at me very seriously and said, I need to maintain my diet. It's important for my condition. What condition? He paused and then said, I'm a vampire. I laughed. I thought he was joking. Doing a bit even. Derek always had a dry sense of humour. He didn't laugh back. I'm serious, he said. I've been awakened to my true nature. I'm a vampire, and I need to live accordingly. This was when I stopped laughing. Derek, vampires aren't real. That's what they want you to think. Over the next few weeks, it became clear that Derek was 100% serious about this. He'd joined some online community of people who believed they're real vampires. Not the psychic energy vampire stuff, but the actual blood-drinking, sun-avoiding, immortal creatures of the light. He'd started wearing exclusively black clothing. He'd bought coloured contacts to make his eyes look more predatory. He even filed his canine teeth to make them pointier. I found the dental file in the bathroom and almost threw up. He started speaking in this affected, formal way, like he was in an Anne Rice novel. Good evening, Samantha, he'd say when I came home from work. The night is particularly beautiful this evening, is it not? Derek, it's 6 p.m. and still lights out. The sun is setting. I can feel the darkness calling. It would have been funny if it wasn't so constant and so committed. He wasn't joking. He wasn't doing a bit. He genuinely believed this. The breaking point came a month ago. I woke up at 3 a.m. to strange noises in the living room. When I went to investigate, I found Derek standing in front of an open window, arms outstretched, chanting something in what I think was supposed to be Latin, but was probably just gibberish. Derek, what are you doing? He turned to me, and in the darkness with those coloured contacts, he actually looked kind of scary. I'm calling to my brethren. There are others like me in this city, and I must find them. Derek, you need to go to bed. You're going to wake the neighbours. The neighbours are cattle. They don't matter. Did you just call our neighbours cattle? He looked at me with what I can only describe as pity. You're cattle too, Samantha, but you're useful cattle, so I allow you to live here. I was done. I was so done. Derek, I'm not cattle. I'm a human who pays half the rent. You're also a human who pays the other half. You're not a vampire. Vampires are not real. You need to stop this. His face hardened. You're just like the others. You can't accept what you don't understand. You're threatened by my power. Your power? Derek, you're a software developer from Ohio. Your name is Derek Patterson. You grew up in the suburbs, you had braces in high school, you're not a vampire. He hissed at me, like actually hissed, baring his filed down teeth. I went back to my room and locked the door. The next morning, well afternoon, since he sleeps all day now, I tried to have a serious conversation with him. I told him I was worried about him, that this seemed like maybe a mental health issue, that maybe he should talk to someone. He told me that I was close-minded and trapped in the mundane world, that he pitied my mortal limitations. I called his mum. I know, sounds extreme, but I was genuinely worried. His mum, bless her, was already aware. Apparently Derek had come out as a vampire to his family 3 months ago during a Sunday dinner. They tried to get him to see a therapist, but he refused, saying that therapists are agents of the daylight world trying to suppress his true nature. His mum was crying on the phone. We don't know what to do, Samantha. He won't listen to us. He says we're trying to keep him from his destiny. I felt awful for her, but I also couldn't keep living like this. The final straw came 2 weeks ago. I brought a date home. Nice guy, third date, things were going well. We were watching a movie on the couch when Derek emerged from his room at his usual 8 p.m. wake-up time. He was wearing a full Victorian-style outfit, cape, vest, the whole ordeal. He'd clearly just woken up because his hair was messy. He had pillow marks on his face, which kind of ruined the effect. I am Derek, master of this domain. And you are? My date, sounding confused. I'm Mike. Derek circled him like a predator. Mike, a strong name. Tell me, Mike, what is your blood type? Mike looked at me, alarmed. What? Your blood type. I like to know these things about visitors to my home. He kept asking increasingly weird questions. Did Mike believe in the supernatural? Had Mike ever had the call of darkness? Would Mike like to join Derek's coven? Mike left. He texted me later saying I seemed nice, but the situation was too weird for him. I don't blame him. I told Derek he had to move out. I'd already talked to our landlord, and since I'm the one that signed the original lease and Derek was just a subletter, I had the right to ask him to leave with 30 days' notice. He took it surprisingly well. I understand, he said. This dwelling has become too small for my needs anyway. I require a space more suited to my nature, preferably a basement apartment. He moved out last week. His new place is, indeed, a basement apartment. I checked his Instagram, which is now entirely photos of him in his vampire get-up with captions like, "The night calls to me," and "Internal hunger," and it looks like he's fully committed to that lifestyle. I feel bad for him, I really do. The Derek I knew in college was just a normal, fun guy. Something happened to him, whether it's mental illness or just getting too deep into an online community or some sort of mental identity crisis. I hope he gets the help eventually. But I also feel really relieved. My new roommate is a grad student named Lisa who has a normal sleep schedule, eats normal food, and doesn't think she's a supernatural creature. She did mention she's really into astrology and crystals, and I swear to God, if she starts telling me Mercury retrograde is affecting the apartment's energy, I'm living on my own from now on.